It's good to be back with you, Joel. So you can cut me down and tell me how it is and all the good stuff.
Is that what I do?
Oh, yes, you do, and you don't even know you do it. Don't even know you do it. But, no, it is Coach Carswell, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good, man.
It's been a while since we've been in the box.
The Brain Trust is a reunion right here. So, by the way, did you hear last week's coaches conversation?
I did not. I didn't.
You'll get to hear this one.
Okay.
This is what a comfortable coach sounds like.
So I wasn't comfortable?
Did you think you were?
Hell no.
It depended on how close we were to the playoffs. I'll give you that at
True.
least. But I tell you what, I've been relatively impressed with Willie Horn as a coach. I think that he seems to have the right attitude coming in. I think that in some ways he's getting a different kind of Titan team than the one you're used to in terms of, we always were the reload as opposed to rebuild. I mean, ever since, after year one, it was just Titan powerhouse. And getting the opportunity to deal with a younger group that may not feel quite as entitled might actually be the best scenario for him.
It could be, and I tell you what, I'd heard out in the public there in Lee Summit of quite a few kids didn't come out. They weren't really up for change, and also heard some kids moved, went to different districts and
stayed home.
And I've heard they've checked the boxes on them, and Mish is now involved with some of those players, and you know what? I mean, it's not right.
Well, it's one of those things that over the last, how things have changed over the last 3 years with the pandemic and everything is really kind of throwing a monkey wrench in the way business as usual went with regard to high school athletics.
Right.
And there was an opportunity for people to potentially take advantage of that.
No, there was, and we were just very fortunate to have such a great staff. We had great players, and we were at a wedding, and it was a close friend of mine, Clark and Robin Hofstetter, and their daughter got married, and a whole bunch of my buddies from high school came up to the wedding, and Jake Johnson was there.
I remember him.
And
speaking of Liberty,
and he came over and we talked, and I said, "Hey guys, this was one of our state championship quarterbacks," and they're all like, and he walks away. He goes, "You wasn't very big." I said, "It wasn't about being big. It was about what he had in that chest.
Well,
a lot of heart."
Yeah. All right, we did have a chance to talk with Coach Horn in our coaches conversation, so let's get to that right now. We're about 6 minutes away from game time. It's going to be the Titans and Blue Springs Wildcats. Should be a good game. We'll hear what the coach has to say on our conversation right now here on Titan Football. It's the coaches conversation. Joel Becker talking with Lee Summit West head coach Willie Horn as we are moving into week number 2 here in Blue Springs. And on the road for a little business trip this week. What did you think after last week's performance?
It was a tough loss. We had a few things that, looking back at film, that we know we missed. From blocking assignments to some reads on the offensive side. Defensively, though, they were flying around. They were making a lot of plays. Gave us a lot of opportunities to be and stay in the game. So. Looking forward to seeing how they continue to roll with that on that side of the ball, and looking forward to getting the ball in the end zone on the offensive side of the ball.
On defense, I felt like we played a overall relatively good game. It seemed like we did kind of run out of juice as the game went on, but you had to like to see all the swarming that was going on. It's just now a matter of actually taking people down when we get them there.
Oh, yeah. We preach the flying to the ball, pursuit to the ball, and like I said, we have a lot of fast guys out there, and we're not going to be the biggest, but we got to fly around, and that's what they did last week, finalizing, making the plays in the backfield, that'll help this week. So we harped on that all week, wrapping up, finishing the play, getting to corralling the ball, and finding ways to get the ball out.
So on offense, we talked about the idea that this is going to probably be more of a run-heavy team. And, of course, that is going to require more than anything else is holes opening up for guys like David Mayo to find a way through. He's unfortunately not Jim Brown, who can make his own holes.
Yeah, no, we struggled last week as far as understanding our assignments up front based off of what they were giving us. So we fine-tuned some of those things, corrected what our guys were looking at, and I think we had a really good week up front, opening up more holes, and I think we'll be able to do that tonight as well.
On special teams, opening games almost always seem to have the most trouble with special teams because it's a complicated, there's a lot of things for people to understand, and it's also one of those situations where not everybody's always sure exactly, whether they're supposed to be out there or not, and so on. We had some difficulties.
Yeah, we had a few guys that didn't understand when they were supposed to be going out, and then we obviously had the turnover in the punt game, and again, it's part of having a young team and learning on the run. We had 17 guys that started for the first time on varsity. So you're going to take those lumps, but it's the process of learning and growing from it and not making the same mistakes the next week. So I think we harped on those things, and hopefully we got those things corrected. Tonight we won't see some of those issues.
Well, talking about tonight here, we are on the road playing a Blue Springs team that in some ways has a lot of similarities to ours. Another first-year head coach, a somewhat young team, not a ton of returning starters. You have to feel like you're very much in this game going into it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're in every game that we go into, but definitely looking at what they have coming back. Again, they're a hard coach team, great coaching staff over there. They have capable players just like we do, so we still got to go out and do our job. In 6A football, you're not going to have any cupcake games. So you got to come out, you got to execute, and at the end of the day, that's what we preach to our kids, handle our job, and when we do those things, we'll have an opportunity at the end of the game to win.
Absolutely, and tonight, first road game, but I imagine that one of the things that was nice about last week was giving them an opportunity, the kids, to actually get some real game action.
Yeah, there's nothing better than live bullets flying at them, and that's the one thing that we all talked about as coaches. You can't learn but going out and doing it and making those mistakes, and then from there, hopefully we correct it and we don't do those things again, so very, very not good, but good at the same time that we had that opportunity last week.
What would you call the keys to the game tonight?
Running the ball, stopping the run, protecting the ball.
And did we have any injuries or anything? We had a few cramps and stuff like that, but anything that left over into this week?
Biggest thing was just cramps, hydrated all week and harped on that. So hopefully that doesn't bite us in the butt this game.
Another thing they probably learned from last week, that no matter how much you think you drank, you need to drink more.
Yes, sir, definitely.
So, all right, weather should be fun. Not a whole lot of wind. It'll still be warm again, so we got to keep everybody hydrated. Should be a lot of fun. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Coach Willie Horn. I'm Joel Becker, and this is Titan Football, a presentation of Backboard Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back live here at PB Stadium in Blue Springs. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Bame as the Lee Summit West Titans getting set to take on the Blue Springs Wildcats. I was watching the coin toss there, and I don't know if you could see it through the little bars we have in front of our eyes here, but it looked to me like the referee stated not that just that Blue Springs was going to be kicking off, but that they had elected to kick. Oh. In other words, he didn't give the washout,
right,
which you normally do for deferring.
Exactly.
He actually gave the kicking motion. And that, which I don't know why anybody would, I don't know, maybe they like their defense.
Yeah, very interesting. Just listening to Coach Horn's pregame talk there, I mean, honestly, I sat at home and I watched the game, and you know.
Do you remember him, by the way? He was.
I do.
He was a player in about 2006 or so.
Yeah, Vinny DeFeo's era, and but you know, not playing in a jamboree could have eliminated some of those mistakes that they had last week. The timing patterns.
Is that like a coach's decision, or is that something that
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that was his decision not to.
Ball teed up at the 40-yard line just inside the left hash mark. And we are underway from Blue Springs with the kick going into the end zone. As Jackson Torrey allowed it to just bounce right on in there. And we'll see the Titan offense from their own 20-yard line. And, you know, to be honest, I can't say that I would consider it bad strategy for the Wildcats to kick away. The one thing that we did kind of see with the Titans last week was they have a hard time with the long fields.
They do. And I tell you what, I think Blue Springs is looking at 46 yards rushing last week, and they're thinking that they can pin them back and again, manage a good field position for the Wildcats.
David Mayo in the backfield as Drew Wolverton takes the snap and tosses, and it is Torrey, and he has some running room. Gets up across the 25 near the first down mark. He'll be about a yard shy around the 29, and that's Jackson Torrey. They also have Quincy Torrey running, of course, as well. But Jackson coming around from the kind of slot position on the little end around.
I tell you what, like Coach Horn said, offensive line got better this week, and already you can tell that's a big old chunk of 8 yards right there.
Second down and short. It'll be a give to Mayo, and he bowls his way across the 30 for a first down to the 32. That's the David Mayo we want to see, where he's falling forward and getting at least a good 3 yards on a carry. Do we get a flag there at the very end of the play? No, they just blew the whistle.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 for the Titans. 2 plays and a first down from their own 32, just underway here in the first quarter. Titans in their road whites with blue trim. Purple for the Wildcats. It'll be a give to Mayo again, looking for room between the guards. And he did get a bit of a hole. He pushes his way up again.
Yeah, good 5 yards, 4 yards?
About, all the way up to the 36 is where they're marking it. So let's give him 3, 2nd and 7 from there.
Already the offensive line is looking so much better than last week.
Yeah, he didn't have any holes at all a lot of times when he tried to run last week. So that will definitely be helpful if he can. Haven't had a pass yet as they go with double wings this time. And a man in motion and rolling out to the left side. Wolverton looking to throw, first time throws. He's got a man, it's caught. Torrey, and then it's knocked out of his hands as he went out of bounds. Let's see if they call it a catch. I don't think so, but they are going to talk about it. Because he went out of bounds and then he got the ball knocked out and they say incomplete, which is probably the right call.
Yeah, probably right.
It was unfortunate because it was a good throw and a good catch, and well, a good defensive play really to knock it out of his hands. I'm not so sure that he wasn't already out of bounds when it came loose.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell from where we are.
But again, though, the official had marked him as being in, so.
Yeah.
But again, though, with all those players out.
Well, I didn't think he caught it out of bounds. I thought he might not have lost it until he went out of bounds.
Yeah.
And so if that was the case, if you had the catch, you go out of bounds, then you lose it. I don't know if that would, normally call that incomplete. But
oh, man, they moved the yard markers.
Oh. They thought it was a catch, apparently.
Well, I tell you what, that's one thing that we learn on Sunday football in the NFL. We do not move those chains until.
Don't they normally keep somebody at the original line until they? I mean, even if the chain gains moved.
You would think so.
So it'll be 3rd down and about a long 6 or a short 7. Not the position the Titans want to be in, 3rd and long. We'll see what they can do on their opening drive from the 37-yard line, just shy of the 37. Wolverton rolls to the left. He's got some time. He throws near side. It's caught. Did he hang on to it? Yes, he did. And that was Weigel on the catch. Do you know how he pronounces his name? W-E-I-G-E-L?
Weigel?
Weigel? I think it is.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. That's what we'll go with till somebody tells us otherwise.
You sold me, Joel.
1st and 10, got all the way up to the 46-yard line. Pickup of 10 on 3rd and 6. So that's a good first down pickup, something you like to see the Titans seeming to move. Torrey again on the end around. Once again, it's Jackson Torrey, and he's hit as he gets to the line, but falls forward up across the 45 to about the 48. Couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from there. Do you like how I used your business trip term?
Yeah, absolutely. I like that, Joel. Thanks for not forgetting about me, buddy.
I learned everything I know. Well, some of the things I know. 1 or 2 things. 2nd down and 8. Still from the shotgun formation, one wing back in motion. They give it to him, and trying to head up the middle is this time Quincy Torrey on his first carry. And he gets across midfield all the way down toward the 46-yard line of the Wildcats, and it'll set up a 3rd down and short. Good running.
Well, talking to the coaches this weekend, or this past week, they talked about how they didn't run behind Boston. And Coach Horn said that was his fault. He's going to make sure that doesn't happen this week. And right there's a big proof of it.
At left tackle, got a good push on. Twins on the right side. Back to throw, quick throw. It is caught. 1st down and more. Into the 40 is Damian Randolph. And that'll be a good to move the chains again. It was 3rd and about 2. They got, 7 or 8 on that play.
Number 7, David Randolph on the reception.
So, it's a very deliberate drive so far.
Oh, very nice drive so far.
Now, obviously, with the Titans, you're always in the danger of stalling out, and that's what they want to avoid here as they move into Wildcat territory. It's Mayo. He was hit as he got the ball. There's a flag. I think it was a face mask flag at the end of the play as he gets across the 40 down to the 38. Good running in the first place because he was hit right as he got the ball and managed to get 3 yards out of it. And it's going to be that personal foul face mask against the Wildcats, so that'll give them another 1st down and put them well into Wildcat territories just outside the red zone. They'll put the ball down at the 22.
Very nice. Well, we were down in the red zone 4 times last week, correct?
I don't know.
I think that's what it was.
I was told there'd be no math. I don't remember is the thing. I did a game yesterday. I can barely remember what happened then.
Who won that game, by the way?
Actually, Olathe South won that game. It's quite a game. And a carry on the right side, Mayo, and he wasn't able to get much. In fact, dropped a yard or 2. So let's call it 2nd and 12. 36-32 was the final of that game. Very topsy-turvy.
And Lawrence was pretty good last year, weren't they?
They were last year, but they graduated a few players. They should be pretty good this year too. But that was a game they certainly could have won and probably should have. But Olathe South one is not bad either. They've got a couple of studs on their team. Mayo to the right of Wolverton, who steps to his right and throws, and it's incomplete. Right out of the hands of Halterman. I mean, he really hit him right in the hands, and he just started running really before he had it secured.
Joel, I'd like to thank you for during halftime keeping Boonville on your mind.
I always do.
Scores and
they had a tough time last week.
Oh, and I've heard that the Roosters of Pleasant Hill,
good team,
they should win a state championship this year.
Well, I hope for Boonville's sake that's true. It'll be 3rd and long on the incomplete pass. I would guess they are on the fringe of field goal range. Wolverton to his left. He looks to throwing, and he threw it incomplete. Looked like he was looking for Torrey in the end zone. There is a flag down all the way back, and it's going to be going to be a personal foul against the Wildcats, 2nd one of the drive.
Wow.
And with 3rd and 12, that will give them a 1st down. Well, it's it'll be, I guess, half the distance to the goal line, but it still should be enough for a 1st down. In high school, it doesn't matter what happens. There's no automatic 1st downs. But if nothing else, they would repeat 3rd down. So they're going to put the ball down at about the 11, and it will be 3rd down and about a half a yard. Well, the yard guy flipped it to first.
1st down, but
Are they going to move the chain? I don't know. They haven't decided. They may actually have to even measure this. I think they're going to measure. It's very close to where the marker was.
Very close.
The guy on the yard marker must have thought that it was a cross, but I don't think he gets to make that call.
No.
What would they say? What would they say in the Chiefs if you're on the chain gang and you decided whether it was a first down or not?
You're fired.
How about them Chiefs, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Have they looked good? Those the ones I mean in the preseason or what?
Ones really look good. And it's going to be exciting next week to watch them go out to Arizona, play the Cardinals.
So they're going to go ahead and call it a first down without actually bringing the chains out. So it'll be 1st and 10. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. We've played 4 minutes or so, technically 3:56 of this first quarter. Opening drive for the Titans. They took the ball at the 20, has it at the 11. First down, give to Mayo. Trying to go between the tackles, does. Breaks through across the 5 and gets down near the 3. We'll see where they put it down. I think it's going to be about the 4, so maybe a yard shy, and maybe 2. So 2nd down and 2. Clock running with 7:40 left to go in the first quarter. Wolverton gives it. Mayo up the middle. And he pushes forward, but not much on the play. Maybe a half a yard or something like that. And it'll set up a 3rd down and short. That's when you really need that offensive line to get that push going.
Exactly.
Or you need your coach to set up that huge jumbo package with all the linebackers and everything.
I haven't seen that this year.
Nope, not so far. 3rd and short, Wolverton back to throw. He will throw near side, and it is caught. Touchdown Titans, as Ethan Huffman, I believe. Did you see, is that who caught it? I think 11.
Nice. First
I may have
score of
missed
the year.
the number, but yeah, touchdown for the Titans. 6-0 with the extra point to come. Will Peacock out for the extra point. Snap back, ball down, kick up. It is high, long, and it is good. 7:02 to go here in the first quarter. The Titans, an 80-yard drive, finishing with a roughly 4-yard touchdown pass from Drew Wolverton. They lead at 7-0 back with the ensuing kickoff coming up after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts for more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Blue Springs, Missouri. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Boehm, Lee Summit West, and Blue Springs. Titans on top of the Wildcats, 7-0. Their first lead of the season, first points of the season on the opening drive. I'm told, by the way, it was Lance Weigel who made that catch. It was hard to see. It's really hard to tell from where we are. So I apologize for that. I thought it was odd, but it looked like an 11 to me. Quick return and breaking a tackle, heading up the middle of the field across the 30 to about the 33. Pretty good return for the Wildcats, so they'll have good field position as we'll see their offense for the first time. But when all is said and done, the Titans with an impressive drive here in game number 2.
Very impressive.
That's business trip, isn't it?
It is. It is.
And
especially to have that first score of the year.
And took half the quarter to do it. 5 minutes goes by. And so we will see Sal Caldarella and company and what kind of offense this Wildcat team has as Calderella gives a handoff up the middle on the first play. Not much there on the carry by George. Donovan George with his first carry of the game, maybe picks up a couple across the 35 to the 36, so it'll set up a 2nd down and 8 from there. Maybe 7, long 7, short 8, whatever you want to call it. They need to get up to about the 43.
Well, once again, Coach Park's defensive line, they're not very big, but
they swarm.
They do swarm. Very physical.
Yeah, and fast too. Calderella from the shotgun. Back to throw, quick throw out, wide receiver screen. A pretty good catch, but hit in the backfield and finally taken down. Once again, talking about swarming the Titan defense, as that was
No gain on the play.
looked like Caden Lutgen Williams making the catch. Lutgen, Lutgen. No gain. So wide receiver screen, but he didn't really have much blocking in front of him. So he tried to get what he could, but really, whenever you go across the line of scrimmage on a play like that, you're not going to get very far.
No, you're not. What number's the nose tackle?
Our nose tackle?
Yeah.
As soon as they...
53?
I'll let you know. Back to throw. Rolling to the right side. Has time, gets around one man, throws downfield, and incomplete. Overthrew his receiver by quite a bit. He was looking for Stevenson, was Calderella. And he's running off the field, so I don't know.
52.
So if it is 52, that would be Cameron Arnold. But I'm sorry, 52 is Dylan Haynes.
Okay.
But I don't know, that's not really his position.
Uh-huh.
Although you never know. Punting situation here for the Wildcats.
Oh,
they came in, almost got a hand on it. A very high punt. Comes down, takes a bounce, and it's fielded. And we got a flag. I think they're going to say that he called a fair catch and then ran with it. But I don't know. We'll see. Now, that was number 11, Ethan Huffman, which I'm assuming that unless they're not wearing the right jersey or something like that, because he's listed as a linebacker, and you normally would not have a linebacker back returning a kick.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Not unless they saw something this week that they put him back there.
Although you never know. Sometimes they are calling delay of game, which is what happens when you call a fair catch and then run with it. So that should cost them an extra 5 yards, I guess. Officials timeout. They're going to do the water break now, which they don't do in Kansas, by the way. Apparently, they don't care they don't care about their kids in Kansas. No, I'm just kidding.
Come on now. Hey, Missouri had a big win last night.
Yeah. KU, by the way, gets their opening game tonight.
South Dakota?
No, the Engineers from Tennessee Tech.
Oh, Tennessee Tech.
Yep.
That's right. K-State's got South Dakota.
So, yeah, kind of weird for a Thursday night opener for the Tigers.
Oh, it was. But again, though, they wanted their student base there, because usually when they open up on Labor Day weekend, there's nobody there.
Well, works out well for me. I'm going to Columbia tomorrow, so.
Nice.
Yeah. So, because normally if I were going to Columbia on opening weekend, you'd have to worry quite a bit.
Right.
But when we were looking, we probably would have picked a different day if it weren't for the fact that they already played this week. All right, so the Titans take over after the penalty. It's 1st and 10 from the 11. And a give inside, and Mayo with some strong running gets up near the 20, probably about the 19. That's just shy of the 20. Pickup of, let's call it 8, 2nd and a long 2 from there.
Nice pull by the right guard. 71. Quentin Davis.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I'm just trying to get used to
I don't know.
Looking at the rosters again.
Files gave me all these numbers, so they're all wrong. Mayo up the middle. And he gets across the 25, moves the chains. They'll mark him down to the 27. 1st and 10 Titans, and once again, starting in deep in their own territory, they're moving the football.
This is a different team from last week.
Yeah. And a toss, sweep. Pretty good run. Good job of containment, but making what he can was Tavion Sims. And he'll get 2, 2nd down and 8. Clock is running with 4:05 left to go first quarter. Titans on top 7-0.
Tavion's a sophomore running back,
Yep.
5'5", 120 pounds.
A little bit of speed.
Just a little bit.
Scat, as they call him. I mean, that's the type of back. And rolling on the option play, looking to throw, throwing for Torrey, and Quincy Torrey makes the catch and goes out of bounds around the 30.
Number 25, Quincy Torrey on the reception.
Let's see where they mark him. Actually, they gave him all the way up to the 33.
Tackled by number 43.
So that's a big difference because it was going to be
That
about
was.
3rd down and maybe 6 or 7. Now it's 3rd and 4. Much more makeable for the Titans. Wind, as you can hear, picking up a little bit.
Feels good.
Yeah, not complaining. Wolverton from the shotgun, back to throw. Swing pass out to Torrey, makes the catch, and gets up for a 1st down. Knew right where the marker was and got there. That was a terrific job by
That
Quincy
was.
Torrey. Not just making the catch because he had to reach behind him to do it, but then also making sure that he got that 1st down. So got just enough for it up at the 38-yard line.
First and 10.
1st and 10 Titans. Wolverton, twins on either side. Now a man in motion, and the toss again, bobbling the ball a little bit. And Tavion, once again, Tavion Sims, but not much there. He was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Probably didn't. We'll call it a loss of maybe half a yard. And it'll be 2nd and long from there.
Dave Luigi Williams with the tackle. A loss of 1 yard on the play. 2nd and 11.
So the Titans in this first quarter have been extremely varied on their play calling. They've not been like settled on one type of play. Here's
No.
Mayo up the middle, which we've seen a lot of, but you know, he's
David Mayo.
able to get a hole up the middle and gets about 3. It'll set up a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 9 from the 39-yard line. But you know, sometimes they'll be moving the quarterback around. Sometimes they're doing the end around. Sometimes it's Mayo up the middle. They're trying to keep the defense guessing.
And didn't they use multiple quarterbacks last week?
Not really. No.
Not really. They stuck with Wolverton.
Yep. And on 3rd and 9, he rolls to the right side with time throwing, and he's got a man. It is caught. Was he in bounds? Yes. Good catch on the far sideline. That was Halterman. And managed to keep his feet in as he dove out of bounds. That'll move the chains again. 1st and 10 Titans into Wildcat territory at the Blue Springs 47.
And once again, the Titans are doing a great job of keeping the Blue Springs defense out on the field, eating the clock up.
Yeah, they keep playing like this. Their own defense will have white jerseys at halftime.
Yes, they will.
Man in motion is Sims. They give it to Mayo, trying to go left side. He was double teamed. There's a flag.
Got to be holding there.
You would think. Not much on the play, but no, it's
Oh,
another face
face
mask.
mask.
But it's against the Titans, according to the referee.
Only 5 yards.
Yeah, the 5-yard variety. It must have been on a block. In other words, when somebody was
Hands
trying to
face,
block, it
yeah.
came up. Yeah, in NFL football, they would have called it illegal hands to the face.
Right.
Which, I've always thought in the NFL that they allow that way more than they ought to.
They allow a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, to the point where a lot of players have those visors now. That used to be an uncommon thing. Now it's more common to have it than not to.
Right.
Especially for linemen. Can't say as I blame them, though. So it'll be 1st down and about 15 after the penalty. They've got a couple men in motion. They go double H as it turns out, and now we're going to get a timeout or a delay of game call. A timeout on the Titans. Looked like they had no idea what they were doing.
No idea, because it did the same thing twice.
Yeah. So with 1:54 left to go in the first quarter, On 1st and 15, they'll have a chat about it and figure out what to do. So what are you thinking here after most of a quarter's gone by, 10 minutes of football?
Oh, I tell you what, I thought they've done a great job of mixing the run with the pass and moving the ball down the field. Like I said, again, the offensive line is much better than last week. And
that's what comes with a game of, with the game under your belt,
No, it does, and that's why I said the jamboree
would have helped.
Possibly could have helped.
Yeah.
But you know what? Coach Horn had his own thoughts about that, so
and you
be
never
it.
know what other factors might have been involved with that.
Well, from what I heard was the offense didn't feel comfortable with the new offense.
Sure. So you think you'd want to get more reps. After the timeout, they give it to Mayo. He was caught from behind and pulled down. Good defensive play by John Matzke, coming off the defensive end position, and he got the penetration and was able to knock him down. It ended up being a loss of a yard or so. It'll set up a 2nd and 16. Should I have asked you what your impressions were of the first quarter so you could say, I don't do impressions, Joel?
I didn't catch that one. I've been gone for too long.
Like falling off a bike, isn't it?
It is.
2nd down and long. Back to throw Wolverton. Throwing near side. It is caught. And it is Sims gone down the near sideline. Breaks the tackle. Stays in bounds. He's inside the 15 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown Titans. Tavion Sims from 54 yards away. And with 1:04 left to go here in the first quarter, the Titans tack on another 6, 13-0 with the extra point to come.
Beautiful. Great movement. It's great speed. Wow.
Well, and that's something that they didn't do so well last week. And I'm just talking about setting up those little swing outs or wide receiver screen type passes. And obviously, they've done a lot of good adjustment over the week in practice or whatever. Peacock for the extra point. Snap back, ball down, kick up, high, long, and it is good. 1:04 left to go here in the first quarter of play. Titans, biggest lead of the year. 14-0 is the score. Back with a kickoff after this on Titan Football. Presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com. Welcome back out to Blue Springs, Missouri, PV Stadium here at Blue Springs High School. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Boehm. Lee Summit West and Blue Springs, and the Titans out to a much more familiar 14-0 lead.
Nice. Very nice.
After a couple of long drives, it was an 80-yard drive to start, and this one was 89.
And that's got to make Coach Horn really feel good about his about his offense right there.
Well, Peacock getting the ball teed up at the 40-yard line right in the middle of the field. They did have a pretty good return last time, did the Wildcats, so we'll see if they adjust anything here. And Peacock's kick is high and short, comes down at about the 9-yard line, trying to go across the field, looking for a hole. Pretty good run again across the 20, hit and tackled at the 26. And a pretty decent run.
Couple flags.
We did get late flags. That was Hunt, Deontay Hunt on the carry. We'll check the flags though. Delonte, perhaps. I don't know. Delonte.
Sounds good to me.
Couple flags on the field, so there may be multiple fouls, and they are going to be, it looks like, against, it's unsportsmanlike conduct against the Wildcats.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
So that is about the third 15-yard penalty.
It is.
This is the first unsportsmanlike, but it's the third 15-yard penalty. Had a couple of personal fouls. And so that'll negate the good run back and put them inside the 15. Let's see. They're actually pushing it inside the 10. Down to the 7-yard line. So 55 seconds left in the first quarter. Wildcats trailing 14-0 with their backs up against the wall. Caldarella in the pistol formation moves his lineman to the right, and it is a lead give on that right side and hit way back near the goal line. I don't think he quite was in the end zone, but it was a loss. We're at the maybe 6 or so back to the 2, and it will set up a 2nd down and long. No time ran off the clock on that play. It still says 55 seconds. Amazing.
We had Staley.
And no time is running off now either. They're obviously having to have some issue because it was a running play, so there should be a. Now they get the clock running. That couldn't be right.
No.
No. So Caldarella again to give up the middle. Again, good penetration by the Titans front 3 and front 7. Not much gain, if any, on the play. They may give them up toward the 4. And it'll set up a 3rd down from there. Under half a minute to go. Yeah, we always talk about that in these broadcasts. How many plays can you get in if it's Staley on an average of 2 plays every 3.9 seconds.
I tell you what, they've got all kinds of construction going on around this school.
They do. 3rd down and long, probably about 13 or 14. Ball on the 4-yard line, and that's going to do it for the quarter. So they won't get the play off before the quarter ends. It was a good quarter for Lee Summit West. They have the only points. The only points they have for the year. 14-0 is our score after 12 minutes of football. Back with the second quarter after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backboard Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com. Welcome back out to Blue Springs. Joel Becker and Coach Royce Mame. Lee Summit West and Blue Springs. Titans on top of the Wildcats 14-0. After 1 quarter of play, it's a 3rd and 13 coming up for the Wildcats from their own 3-yard line.
Mark just showed me a heck of a stat.
I noticed that.
Total offense 147 for the Titans and 1
yard.
1 yard.
Wow. At least they're positive. Did we have 147 all of last game? 167, so yeah. So they almost have equaled their output from the entire game in a quarter in this one and have outscored themselves. Another good tackle in the backfield on the give to George up the middle. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll be punting out of the end zone time for the Wildcats.
Great field position for the Titans coming up.
Well, you'd hope.
Yeah.
I never make any assumptions on special team plays in game 2.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we about blocked it the last time.
I was going to say, for all we know, we might be fielding a kickoff after
That's true.
Snap out of the end zone or something like that. Kicker standing right back at the edge of the end zone. Does get a good kick and steps into it this time. Line drive kick. And it will come down at about the 39. And once again, rolling on the right side, comes down the near sideline inside the 25, about the 22. Flag down at the very end of the play. And Huffman with a run again. I'm assuming that's who that is, because it's. So a lot of times linebackers also are double listed as running backs, and they sometimes run back kicks. So it's very possible. We've got a blocking infraction against the Titans, so they're not going to get quite as good field position as they were hoping. So they'll mark it back to about the 32, but still, they're on the
That's
Wildcat
still
32.
pretty good.
No complaints. It's always nice if you can start a drive in the red zone, though,
Right.
or close to it. Ooh. Feel the temperature dropping as
Oh,
the
I know it. Love
the
it.
sun goes down. It feels nice.
Love
We're out
it.
on the patio here.
Titans will take over at the Wildcats 32-yard line.
Feel like a coach, right?
Yes.
So we'll see what the Titans can do here on their third offensive possession. After 2 scores in the first 2, it's a give. And it's Torrey. This is Jackson Torrey.
Jackson Torrey.
And he gets off right tackle for about 5 yards maybe. 2nd and 5. Just underway here in the second quarter of play. Titans pick up the pace real quick. Wolverton, man in motion. Sims, they toss it to him, looking to get around again. And with pretty good blocking this time, he was able to at least get forward. Gain 3 up to maybe the 20. Well, they only gave him the 24.
Well, I tell you, speed kills.
Third
doesn't
down
it?
and 2. Yeah, it does. But you know what the key was on that? Was all the blockers and receivers holding their blocks that
Yes.
long.
Very good.
I could be a coach.
You could.
3rd down and 2. We already had one of those. Driscoll came from the press box, the coaches.
Very true.
Sims in motion again, back to throw Wolverton. He's going to throw near side. He's got a man, but it's incomplete. Unfortunately, he was looking for Randolph Damien, and he and Damien were not on the same page there. And I'm hoping that that was because they were just planning on going for it here on 4th and 2 anyway. So stops the clock with 10:05 to go in the half. And the Titans look like they're going to go for it here on 4th down and 2. They need the 22. Their ball's on the 24. And I think, wow, the Wildcats are going to call timeout. They brought Quincy Torrey out to take the Wildcat snap. It's the first time they've done that this year. They didn't do that at all last game. And that, I think, threw the Wildcats, and they thought they better call a timeout on this 4th down play. See if they can come up with a stop.
Very true.
So 4th down and 2. You'd probably call a fake punt here.
Oh, up 14. Why not?
I know what you wouldn't do is
What?
kick a field goal.
No.
You never do that. No matter how many times I begged.
I don't know. We had some good kickers.
I
back
know
then.
we did. That's why I always wanted them. How about the Chiefs safety coming out and kicking a 65-yarder in practice?
Unreal. Very impressive.
That is just amazing. All right, after the timeout, 4th down and 2. Titans come out in the shotgun, and they come out with this Wildcat formation again. It's Mayo with the direct snap, and he'll get the first down. Was able to stiff arm off one tackle and gets down to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 Titans right at the edge of the red zone.
That's nice. That's a little different.
It's a good run by Mayo. There was one guy that might have been able to get him before the first down, and he just basically ran right over him.
Right.
Well, David's a big boy
Yes, he is.
and not easy to take down, although he is tall. So, if you can get him down low, you might be able to knock him off. But 1st down, they'll give it to Mayo again. And he bounced off one tackle, was able to fight forward for a couple yards, down to about the 17. We'll see how much forward progress they gave him. They only gave him to the 18. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from there. Clock running with 9.5 minutes to go in the first half. Titans on top 14-0.
Yeah, for his size, he does run hard. He's a big boy.
Yeah. He said Mark Files always says he reminds him of Larry Johnson.
Uh-huh.
He does have a similar body type, certainly.
Yes.
Man in motion, they fake, toss out the swing pass. Jackson Torrey looking for some room to run, and he'll get inside the 15, down to about the 14. That was a run, technically not a pass because he threw it backwards, but it worked out, and it'll set up a 3rd down, 3rd and about 2, maybe 3. big play here because, you know, you can go up 3 scores. That's a huge thing in the first half.
It is. Now, if we don't make it, you going to kick it?
Well, I won't, although I'm pretty sure I could make it from here. And it's going to be a give. Torrey again. He'll get that first down inside the 10. First and goal for the Titans from about the 7 or 8. And Jackson Torrey found that you really got to credit the right side of the offensive line for that one.
They came off.
And just opened up a big old hole. And Jackson just waltzed right on through it. Easy first down, as it turned out.
Everybody out there, we know we're having problems with the focus on the camera, so we're working on it right now. So bear with us.
Which is weird because it's an autofocus camera. I wonder if the lens is just a little foggy or something.
True.
On first down, the give. Mayo, left tackle,
There
breaks
it
the
is.
tackle inside the 5, still fighting forward. He's going to get near the 1-yard line. Can't quite get all the way into the end zone. You guys might try and check the lens on that camera and see if maybe the lens is a little, you know, either foggy or needs a little cleaning. Okay.
Second goal from the 2.
So it'll be second down and goal. Clock running with 7.5 minutes to go in the half. From the shotgun, Mayo to the left, and Sims on the motion. They give it to Mayo left side. Not much there. Tried to go around left tackle, but good time of that time it was a good job of holding up by the Wildcat defensive line, and they stop him for pretty much no gain. It'll be third down and goal.
No gain on the play.
Well, it looked like our left tackle and left guard were both 10 yards deep in the end zone, but on the ground. And it looks like they were running behind those two.
Well, they were trying. Maybe should have thrown them to them. They were wide open. Third and goal. And we get whistles, and it's going to be a Titan timeout this time.
Lee Summit West.
And with 6 there, they were going to go Wildcat again as Quincy Torrey in the backfield with Mayo. But right as the ball was being snapped, one of the coaches must have called the timeout.
Looked like Coach Horn stepped out and called that.
Yeah, he saw something he didn't like. But I tell you what, you know, that's a smart thing to do. A lot of coaches, I mean, it's one of those things where you always, you know, want to hang on to your timeouts because you never know when you're going to need them late in a half or in a game. But sometimes the best time to call it is not with, you know, 30 seconds left to go. You know, this can be a bigger play potentially than something that happens right at the end of the game.
Yes.
Because it's third and goal. I would hate to be in a fourth and goal situation here and have to figure out what you want to do. Because you want to make it a 3-score game, but a 3-touchdown game sounds a lot better.
No kidding.
So this is a big play. They are going to go Wildcat. Mayo, I don't know if he can throw the ball. Man in motion is Sims, and they toss it to Sims. Right side, he's got a lane into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Titans. Tavion Sims from 2 yards out. And they get that 3-touchdown lead, 20-0 with the extra point to come. I don't know if he can throw, but it was a nice toss.
It was a nice toss.
And a well-designed play, as it turned out, because I think they were definitely the Wildcats were keying on up the middle because they knew Mayo, that's where he goes. I mean, they weren't going to send him around. And they'd been using Sims as a decoy quite a bit on that motion play. And this time they sent it to him. Peacock for the extra point. Playcock down to 9, waiting for the hold of Arnold. Short player? I don't really know. Play clock is down to 0, and we're going to get a delay of game call. And the Titans just were missing a player who never managed to make it onto the field. They didn't want to burn a timeout. I guess they figure Peacock could make an extra point from 25 yards out.
There we go.
We'll find out. Hey, if it's good enough for the NFL, it's good enough for us, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a little further in the NFL, but still. All right. So from the 15 to put it down, 25 yards out for the extra point, Peacock. Snap back, ball down, kick, up, high, plenty of leg, and it's good.
It's good.
6:34 to go
Good
here
call.
in this first half of play. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for Lee Summit West. They lead at 21-0 over Blue Springs. Been a while since you could say that, isn't it?
Good.
We'll be back with a kickoff after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Ackport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
810 Varsity takes you through the football season like never before. Watch games live throughout Kansas and Missouri, and even postseason action at 810varsity.com. Plus live tournament brackets, top 25, Elite 81 All-Metro team, live scoreboard, stories, and more. Check out Kansas City's new home for high school sports coverage. 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Blue Springs. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Bain, Lee Summit West, and Blue Springs Titans all over the Wildcats. 21-0 here in the first half. 6.5 minutes left to go. 3 drives and 3 pretty deliberate drives down the field for touchdowns for Lee Summit West.
Very nice.
Peacock with the ball teed up at the 40-yard line right in the middle of the field. Kicks it high and short again, and it is muffed. Loose ball goes out of bounds around the 16. So it'll stay with the Wildcats, but they'll mark it out of bounds at the 15, and so bad field position for Blue Springs.
Not good.
Blue Springs was always a tough draw.
They were.
Especially when we were Class 5.
When Kelly Donahoe was here.
And we're going to get our water break now, if you're curious about the delay we're about to have. I don't think the Titans realize it yet, but they'll head over and fill the old Gatorade up. Do you have to remind yourself to keep yourself hydrated on days like this?
Oh, yeah. Always.
Liking that cool breeze, though.
Oh, it's awesome. This is football weather right here.
So, we've talked about this before, but I've always found it interesting that, in order to play football in high school, to build up a good record and get a good seeding, you have to play well in hot weather. To win a state championship, you have to play well in cold weather.
Yes, you do.
And they're different games.
Yes, you do. Yeah, but back in the day when we were there, though, we got to play inside. So it's so much.
In the championship, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to get there first, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, usually those were warm days, too.
Yeah.
Especially down at Ozark.
Sometimes. All right, on 1st and 10 from their own 15, breaking a tackle right up the middle. Is this George? It's actually, excuse me, not George, but the other running back that they use, Hunt. And Delonte Hunt with their best run of the game easily. So that improved their offense by what, 17 times what it was before or something like that? From 1 to 18. 1st and 10 from their own 28. Another give, trying to go up the middle, and Hunt was able to break through the first line of defense, and then the second time around through, Frederson comes up and with a nice little stuff, but gain of maybe 3-4. It'll be 2nd down, under 6 minutes to go, and we get a face mask call against the Titans. It's the 5-yard variety, it looks like, but that may be enough to give him a 1st down. Or did it? No, he did give the personal foul. I thought the first time he just grabbed the mask, but no, it's going to be the 15-yard variety, so it definitely is a 1st down. In fact, it pushes them just shy of midfield. And I don't think the Wildcats have been in Titan territory yet this game.
No.
So they're 2 yards shy right now, 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 48.
I believe this is only the 3rd series, isn't it?
Yeah. So pistol formation. And it'll be a handoff, and once again they go to Hunt. He was hit in the backfield. Good penetration. Spun off of 1 tackle, but couldn't get any further. That was a really good job there on defense. It was Tyrick Woods, or I'm sorry, excuse me, Kirkpatrick, Jonathan Kirkpatrick, from the linebacker position, who stepped up and just wouldn't let go.
Right.
And he just held him up there until he got enough help. And that, like I talked about before, that was one of the problems they had last week against Liberty, was they would sometimes stop, or get to a runner, but they couldn't get him down. Oh, there's a big run on the play, this time by George, and he cuts inside the 30, down about the 27-yard line, something for the Wildcat faithful to cheer about for a change. It'll be first and 10.
Tell you what, Joel, they found something on our on their right side because that's where they're going right now. Everything's to that right side.
This is the left side.
Everything.
You mean the
shoot? Shut up! No, God dang it! To the left side.
Okay. You meant the Titan right side.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
On first down, the give again to George, and he'll go right side this time as he tries to change the pace and picks up about 3. It'll be second down, and let's call it 8 from there.
Ladies and gentlemen out there, that's
Your other right.
That's a rub in to me there. That's Joel rubbing it in.
It's what happens when you have too much meat before the game.
Oh.
Good barbecue.
We'll talk about that brisket.
That's
something else.
Pistol formation. Second down and 8. George in the backfield. And he'll get the call again back to the left side. And this time it was Huffman stepping up to get him hit pretty quick, but he still falls forward for about 3 yards. It'll be third down, let's call it 4, from the Titan 22. 4:10 left to go in the first half.
Pretty quick game right now.
Yeah. Heck of a lot quicker than last night.
Oh.
That Lawrence Olathe South game, it was past 10 before we end.
Oh, wow.
Titans show blitz. They give it to George, and he's stopped right up the middle as once again, good penetration by the Titans on the line. I think that was Ryan Haynes stepping up. And so it'll be fourth down. Obviously, the Wildcats will go for it here on the Titan 21.
Well, if they saw anything there, run the same play again and have the quarterback just keep the ball because nobody honored him.
Caldarella, I don't think he's had any running plays himself yet this game. Pistol formation, fourth down and 4. They give it, and Hunt did not make it. Needed to get to the 16, got to about the 20. And the Titans hold on defense. Turnover on downs. They take over from their own 20 with 3:10 left to go in the half. Up 21-0. Good defensive stand. They did give up some yards.
They did.
But they made the corrections they needed to.
Back. They sure did.
It's when it's nice to have, what do they have, like 4 former head coaches on the.
No doubt.
And 1 in the broadcast booth now. 3:10 left to go in this first half. Titans only have the 1 timeout left. And the ball on the 21-yard line. So they come up to the line, shotgun formation. Wolverton gives, and up the middle, and it's Mayo, and he was hit, but bounced off the hit, able to get up near the 25. It'll be a gain of, let's call it 3 or 4.
Number 41, Joshua Dyer on.
Ball's at the 24, so they didn't give him the best spot in the world. So we'll call it 2nd and 7 from there. Clock is running with 2:45 left to go in the first half, and the Titans don't seem to be in any hurry with a 21-0 lead.
No, they're not in any hurry whatsoever.
Wolverton from the shotgun, Mayo to his left. Wing back on the right side, that's Sims. He goes in motion. They give it to Mayo, trying that left side again. Does get across the 25 to maybe the 26. Pickup of 2, it'll be 2nd and 6 from there. Clock running down to 2:15. Almost a little surprised that the Wildcats aren't burning a timeout.
Yeah.
They may after this third down play, if the Titans don't make it and if they run the ball or something like that. The only thing is if the Titans throw it and throw an incomplete pass, then they've burned off 40 seconds of time they didn't have to burn off. I still think, by the way, that at the NFL level, it would be smart of them to hire somebody to decide that sort of stuff. Wolverton throw, Sims far side, and he goes out of bounds, so it will stop the clock. Shy of a first down, up at about the 27-yard line, maybe a gain of 1. And a punting situation will be the first punt of the game for the Wildcats. But if you're a team like the Chiefs and you have money to burn, to hire a guy whose only job, some math guy, whose only job is to figure out when's the right time to call timeout, when's the right time to kick go for a 2-point conversion, should you take a penalty, all that sort of stuff. I mean, they could waste.
They could.
I mean, $100,000 is a drop in the bucket for a team like, an NFL team. Mayo standing back at his own 12. On 4th down and 6, and we get whistles. Did they wait too long? Yeah, they did. They didn't snap it until after the clock got off. They were trying, and it was silly because the clock was stopped. So there was no advantage to, taking it down to 1 second.
Right.
And they certainly weren't trying to give him more field to kick to.
No.
So it's actually a little dangerous because he's inside the 10 now. Mayo standing just about the 9-yard line. One man back deep for the Wildcats. High snap, he does get it down, steps into it. There's a flag down as it is a fair catch at midfield. We'll have to check the flag. I wonder if there was, if it was a formation issue. Yeah, it was an illegal formation against the Titans. If I'm the Wildcats, I make them kick it again.
Heck yes.
Push them back another 5 yards.
Especially as much heat that their defense put on it.
Well, and I was going to say, you push it. I mean, I wouldn't take the 5 yards to the 45, even though it would be good field position. I'd have him kick it again.
Yep.
Because you have the choice. You can actually do it either way. You could take the 5 yards on where he caught it, and then they'd have it 1st and 10 from the Titan 45.
Yeah, but they were close to blocking that one.
Right, and it was a high snap. If it's any higher, it goes over his head in the end zone. It could be a safety or a touchdown. So, yeah, I would too. So we'll try it again. 1:31 on the clock. Mayo now standing at about his own 2, between the 2 and 3. Good snap right to him, and he steps into it. And boy, he got a really good punt off too. He goes inside the 40 and down to the 38. So, I mean, it turns out to be a bad decision by the Wildcats, but you can't fault them for making it.
Not at all. You got to make that decision.
Yeah. So, it actually cost them about 11 yards as they put it on the 39-yard line. They would have had it on the 50 and in fact they could have had it up as high as the 45, so it actually cost them about 16 yards. But there was just as much of a chance that they could have even gotten points out of it. So we'll see what they do here with 2 timeouts, trailing 21-0, a minute 19 to go. We haven't really seen Caldarella airing it out. He's thrown a couple of passes, but that doesn't seem to be their MO as an offense. We'll see what they do here. Back to throw, getting rushed. He'll step up. Now he'll throw far side. It is caught, hit, and taken out of bounds immediately, but a good pitch and catch. And out of bounds, I believe. It was, let's see.
Yeah.
Caden Lujan Williams on the catch. He's made a couple out there. 2nd down and 2. Again, Caldarella throwing and incomplete this time. He was looking for White, and he overthrew him just a little bit. Stops the clock with 43 seconds left to go in the first half of play. It'll set up a 3rd down and about 3, short 3. They need the 49 of the Wildcats. They need their own 49. They're on their 46. Anything special coming up at halftime?
Hey, I got some stats for you.
Okay.
And I'm sure we're going to hear a heck of a band here at halftime.
3rd and 3, pistol formation. They give it, and it's George, and he was hit from behind and tackled in the backfield. And I think the Titans are going to call timeout and make them kick it away. No, it's probably the Wildcats.
Oh, they did. They called timeout.
Yeah, the Titans did. On 4th down, they're going to make him either go for it or kick it away. You'd think you'd have to kick it away here.
Right.
37 seconds left to go. That was another good defensive play coming up from the linebacker position by Jonathan Kirkpatrick as he made the shoestring tackle on George. And Donovan George unable to, it looked like he was just about ready to get going, but before he got any steam going, able to, you grab him by the foot and there's not much you can do.
Not much at all.
So that's the Titans' last timeout.
I guess we're going to talk about that brisket that we had there for dinner.
Well, plus I want a kid update. I haven't heard anything about the boys yet.
Yeah.
So you'd call a fake punt, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm down 21.
Why not?
I don't think so.
Depending on what kind of what play you might have available to you.
But I'm sure I'd have Jeremy Hubbard in my ear saying, "Come on, fake punt, fake punt,
fake punt." Late getting everybody on, but on 4th down, they snap it back.
Ooh,
they blocked it.
it.
Blocked by the Titans, and it is down at the 19-yard line. Now, Sullivan, I think, was the one who blocked it, Nick Sullivan, and he also had an opportunity to pull it up on the roll. Now, if he had, could he have advanced that? Or?
Yes, he could have.
Okay, I didn't know how that worked. Because I know there's some rules in high school where
I think that one you can advance.
Okay. So it'll be 1st and 10 Titans from the inside the red zone. If nothing else, with 30 seconds left to go, they have every opportunity to set up a field goal potentially.
Do you think the scoop and score is going to be at practice this week?
If nothing else, if it were me, I'd hold a couple of demonstrations.
Very true.
You guys do that in football. We certainly did it in baseball and hockey. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
When somebody makes a play like that, you remind them of it. On 1st down, it is a toss. Trying to head toward the outside is Torrey, and he's hit and tackled. Stays in bounds, unfortunately, for the Titans. So we're down to 20 seconds left to go as they rush up to the line of scrimmage. And they threw the ball away from and now they're going to call the official timeout. And now they get it running again. Down to 12 seconds left to go. They set things up. Wolverton will spike it. And that will stop the clock. You know, in the past, I've seen that called intentional grounding in high school, but they would have the argument that David Mayo was right there. So with 9 seconds left to go, I'm not sure they think they have the leg for a 37-yarder, 36-yarder. Looks like they're going to go for it here. As back to throw, Wolverton over the middle. Boy, he had
he stopped.
Jackson, Torrey, and
he stopped running.
And he was, he was wide open on a post route. And with 5 seconds left to go, they'll have one more play here. Again, they could bring out the field goal unit. It looks like they may. There is a wind. It's not going to be an easy field goal. But Will Peacock comes out. Looks like about a 36, 37, 38 yarder. No, it's going to be 39 yards by where they put it down. He definitely has the leg for it, though. Play clock down to 10. Straight ahead kicker. They need to snap this.
Come on.
Snap back, ball down, kick up, it's blocked. I think this is the one they can't advance.
No.
So that'll do it for the first half. Each team trading blocks. It's unfortunate because it would have been nice to know how far it would have gone.
No kidding.
But that is the end of the first half, and a good first half it was for the Lee Summit West Titans. They lead it 21-0 at halftime. Here from Blue Springs, we'll take a break, come back for our halftime festivities right after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts for more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
Oh, shoot. What's the matter, Pop? Your mother's off at Taekwondo practice, and she says she wants me to find a hobby by this summer.
Well, why not play baseball, Dad?
Softball? I don't want to play softball.
Not softball, Dad. Baseball.
I don't even like softball,
Dad,
son, the way they
Dad,
just toss
not
the ball
softball,
in there.
Dad.
You know, I used to be a catcher.
Dad.
In softball, I just feel like a backstop.
Dad.
What?
I'm not talking about softball. I'm talking about baseball, Dad. You know, hardball.
Really? They have baseball for people my age?
Sure, Pop. The Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League.
Well, now, I'm no spring chicken anymore, son. I don't want to play with all you young teenagers, you know.
I'm 35, Pop.
You are?
They have leagues for people both our ages. They have 18 and over, 28 and over, even 38 and over leagues.
Wonder if I still have my old mitt.
The Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League, 913-649-2942.
I think your mother used it while training those tigers.
Call them. They'll get you all signed up. 913-649-2942.
649-2942. Good. As soon as your mother gets home from bungee jumping, I'll tell her.
Oh, great, Pop. She'll be so happy.
Oh.
What?
Well, when she gets happy, she might take it out on me.
Oh, Dad.
All right, I got a message for you. Radio is the way to go if you want to advertise. Targeting your customers, any shape or size. Radio is a perfect way to tell them who and where you are. They listen at work, they listen at home, and you got them in that car. You got to go with radio when you want to advertise. Here we go, watch me now. Hard rock and soft rock and easy listening too. Up and down the dialer formats just for you. Country, classic, talk, and gospel stations. Every market across the land has got a station for your situation. The cost is low, and radio is theater of the mind. You can present your information with imagination. If you want to get your message across the airways with radio. Call them. They will come right over. Remember, you got to go with radio when you want to advertise. There are lots of stations just your size.
It started when a friend asked an ex-cop a simple question.
Got a gun?
Unfortunately, almost nothing is as simple as it may seem. Soon, David Allen Crockett found himself in a world he thought he'd left behind. A world of murder, deceit, treachery, and the possibility of the finest love he would ever know. All he had to do was survive. Don't miss Call Me Crockett, the new novel from David Lewis. Available from Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and select Borders bookstores.
Welcome back out to Blue Springs. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Bain. We are at halftime, and the Titans on top of the Wildcats 21-0. And very excited with some nice stats, Coach Royce Bain.
Yeah, I got some good stats here. First off, starting off with total offense. Lee Summit West, 188, and Blue Springs is 56. In the air for Lee Summit West, it's 104. For Blue Springs, it's only 9 yards. On the ground, which we like this number better than last week's number. We're 84 right now, just in the first half. That doubled what we had last week, I think, 46. And right now, Blue Springs is 47 yards rushing. Let's see here. Penalties. Lee Summit West, 7 for 55. Blue Springs, 3 for 45. This is big. Time of possession, 15:59 for Lee Summit West. 8:01 for Blue Springs. That's big. Taking care of that clock. First downs. Lee Summit West 13. Blue Springs 3. Drew Overton is 9 of 13 for 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that's about all we got first half here.
Okay.
All right. I know you're working.
No, I was listening.
Playing.
Actually, I'm getting plenty. It looks focused to me. I know that we got a different camera on now, but I'm saying the one that we were using. Yeah, it's looking like, I mean, it looks pretty focused, doesn't it? Anyway, so how about a kid update?
Yeah, okay. We'll start off with Tyler and Chandler. Living in Blue Springs here. Both of them got very, very successful jobs, doing great. And with their dogs, of course, living life. Evan and Ashley and my little granddaughter, Charlie, down in Franklin, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. Ashley studying for her doctorate. Evan is a free agent, 7th year free agent.
Is he studying for his doctorate?
Doctorate in whatever he wants, right? And Charlie.
You know that as far as it's in my head, Evan is 12 years old.
Oh, I know. He's just got the biggest old heart. He's a big old teddy bear.
That's how old he was when I met him.
I know.
mean,
I know. But no, everybody's doing very well. Very proud of all of them. Hard workers. Make me proud.
Well, that's great. Good to hear. I'm glad everybody's doing well. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this first half. What a difference a week makes, huh?
Oh, and I tell you what, and this is another thing too. There's been some adjustments on the west side.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Barrows, I think he noticed that his offensive line wasn't playing very well, and he was the offensive coordinator. And I think went to Coach Horn and said, hey, I need to focus on the offensive line. And as of tonight, you can tell the focus is on that offensive line, and they're really playing well. And Coach Horn is calling the offense now, and Coach Carswell is calling the defense. And you can totally see a big difference that they've now got 2 weeks under their belt.
Everybody's getting a nice view of the field.
Well, Mark and Taylor Fowles just put a new camera in, so this should help for the second half.
Yeah. Looking much more in focused.
And Mark, once again, thank you for the brisket sandwiches. They were awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
we had to talk a little meat here. Although I still, Oreo cookies, I mean, come on.
Where's the chocolate chips?
Yeah.
Come on. All right, next week. Are we on the road next week?
Yeah, we are on the road next week.
Staley.
Are we?
North Kansas City lets us in.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, my goodness. What a way to run a railroad, huh?
No kidding.
Well, we are at halftime here in Blue Springs, where they did let us in. And we have a 21-0 score. Kind of takes you back to the old days of running clocks in the second half and 2s and 3s in there.
That's exactly right.
It's been a while.
That's where you get better.
So hopefully they can keep things up. The only problem with that is that you don't want to get overconfident. Anything that you can do in one half, the other team can do in a half as well.
Oh, that's exactly right.
So
don't let your guard down.
Yep. So I'm assuming that Willie is probably making that point to the team, or somebody anyway.
And I'm sure somebody in there is, yes.
So, were you one of the coaches that liked to let the assistants talk at halftime?
You know what? What would happen with when I was there, I'd have everybody in the locker room, and I would talk to them all together at once, and then we'd split up offense one locker room, defense the other locker room, and then I'd let the defensive let those coaches coach their positions. And it, like I said, it worked out awesome.
Did you ever give them, a movie speech?
Is that with cuss words? Maybe once, twice.
3 state championships.
Yes, sir.
All right, it is halftime here in Blue Springs. We'll take a break, come back with more after this. 21-0, Titans on top here on Titan Football. A presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
810 Varsity takes you through the football season like never before. Watch games live throughout Kansas and Missouri, and even postseason action at 810varsity.com. Plus live tournament brackets, top 25, Elite 81 All-Metro team, live scoreboard, stories, and more. Check out Kansas City's new home for high school sports coverage. 810varsity.com. Tired of over-the-hill softball leagues? Want some real action on the diamond? The Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League offers a number of different options for today's amateur recreational athletes, no matter what your age or ability. For more information, call the Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League at 913-649-2942 or visit their website at www.kcmsbl.com. Umpires for the league are also in demand. That number again is 913-649-2942. New from David Lewis and Leonard Press, Blood Trail. Tired of his life and weary of his sins, Joseph Casey places his fate in the hands of medical researchers. A Nosferatu in the power of mere humans, he asks for only one thing in return: help to find his 14-year-old daughter, a young woman he hasn't seen in over 150 years. Funny, tragic, and hopeful, Blood Trail moves the readers with compelling characters, viable science, and a marvelous plot. Blood Trail by David Lewis at Kansas City area Walden Books now.
Are you looking for a heartwarming and unique gift? Consider master storyteller David Lewis's Memories CD collection. Warm memories of the cold. 9 of David's best memories of sleds, snow, grandpa on ice, 34 degrees below, skates, and Christmas. Hooves, paws, wings, and claws. 13 recollections of cats, horses, dogs, birds, a misguided vet, and a bobcat that stuck to the wall. Just folks. 13 memories of the Witch in the Woods and other captivating people, gone but not forgotten. And You Had to Be There. 14 heartwarming tales like Fantasy on the Porch, An Ox Out of His Box, A Foot Fetish Catfish, and more. Recollecting times, places, people, and events in David's life you simply have to hear for yourself. David's CDs are available online at memoriescds.com. You can hear audio clips at the website. That's memoriescds.com. Why not buy the gift that can be enjoyed over and over? David Lewis's Memories CD collection, a touch of the heartland for your family.
Welcome back out here to Blue Springs. Joel Becker along with Coach Roy Spain. We are at halftime. The Titans on top of the Wildcats. 21-0 is our score after 24 minutes of football, and we'll try and see if we get you up to date on some other scores around Kansas City and the surrounding areas.
Got a halftime score here. Belton, Winnetonka, 7-7. Bishop Miege, Kansas football. This is their first Friday night. Bishop Miege 10, Blue Valley North 7.
Actually, I got 13-7 in the third for that.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got for Rockers?
Rockers, Blue Springs South, late in the second quarter, 28-7.
Okay. I'm caught up then.
On the Kansas side, Blue Valley Southwest. They keep making more Blue Valley schools. Every time I look, and there's other directions on there. So Southwest on top, 21-14. Blue Valley Northwest and St. James Academy are tied at half, 14 all. St. Thomas Aquinas 21-0 over Blue Valley West at halftime. Cameron on top of Southeast 16-6. That's a halftime score. Kirkville and Chillicothe 21-7. Let's see, Christ Prep Academy and Pembroke Hill 14-0 halftime score. Lansing DeSoto 21-13 back over on the Kansas side. Eudora Baldwin 7-0 Eudora. Raytown Excelsior Springs 28-0 for Raytown as they start the second half there. Still looking for a Boonville score.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we know? Kearney and Fort O. Kearney 21-3. That's a little more normal for Kearney. That's a first quarter score. 21-3 over Fort Osage. We've got Let's see, Liberty North and Liberty. Boy, after us, they have to go right up to Liberty North, and they're getting trounced 24-7. The Liberty North team must be really good. They really handed it to the Broncos.
They did.
Last
The
week.
Broncos didn't score till late.
And the Broncos are still, to right now, are still the number 2 team in the town,
I know.
even after losing.
I know. That's.
Let's see, Center, Lincoln College Prep Center, 28-7. 8-6, gotta love that score. Lone Jack and Cass Midway all knotted up. Lewisburg and Heritage Arkansas 13 apiece. Let's see, Oak Park over Ruskin 48-0, a halftime score there. Olathe North over Olathe East 20-0. The Free State Olathe West game just prior to halftime, it's Olathe West 12-6 over Lawrence Free State. Atchison, Ottawa 21-14. Lee Summit North and Park Hill South, Broncos on top 17-7 there at the half there as well. Let's see, Smithville, Platte County 7-0. Ray-Peck, Park Hill, what would you guess?
Well, mine's not updating like yours.
Yeah, I know,
so.
but what would you guess?
Well, I'd say maybe 21-0.
That's what I got too. First quarter score. North Kansas City and Ray South 7-6 at halftime. Barn burner over there.
Yes, it is.
Richmond Oak Grove 18-0 over in the county seat of Ray County, Richmond. Actually, they're playing at Oak Grove. But let's see, Shawnee Heights Piper on top 10-0. Shawnee Mission East and Gardner Edgerton. Looks like Gardner Edgerton's getting back a little bit. They had an off year last year, but 35-14. That's just before the half score. Shawnee Mission North on top of Shawnee Mission South. The team that used to be the Indians, 21-0. What do they call them now? The Bison or something?
Bison.
Yeah. 21-0. Shawnee Mission Northwest on top of Shawnee Mission West, 17-0. No score. Spring Hill and Bonner Springs. Warrensburg on top of St. Charles, 30-0 just before the half. St. Joe Central and St. Joe Bennon. I didn't know they played each other. 20-6. I wonder if they've both moved up to the same class at this point or something. You know, we used to have that trouble sometimes with schools when you have, high schools in the same, not wanting to play each other because they don't want, kids to see one team beat the other or whatever. And in hockey, we used to have that trouble with Jefferson City, and what they used to call Central Missouri, but it was also, there's only one rink up there.
Right.
So they played in the same rink, and they were both high school teams. I mean, it's club, but it's still, they were teams, and they never wanted to play each other because there was always one. It was one or the other team that didn't. It wasn't always the same team. So,
can you find that score?
Yeah, we'll see if Oh yeah, I got one actually. 14-7, Lee Summit on top of Staley with 7:43 to go in the second quarter. Summit Christian Academy 28-0 over East. Baser Linwood 21-13 over Tonganoxie. Boy, Topeka West is having a tough start to the season. Topeka Seaman beat them. That was last night, 58-14. William Chrisman 16-0 over Truman. Leavenworth 33-0 over Leavenworth. Second quarter score there. There's no Boonville score.
I didn't see one either.
West Platte on top of South Harrison, 15-6. And Wyandotte and Topeka Highland Park, 19-18 in the second quarter. How about that?
That's a barn burner.
Let me see if I can bring something up here on, let's see, Boonville High football score. 36-8. Boonville over Paoli. I don't know if that's from tonight, though. And that's Boonville, Indiana.
Oh.
Let's see. Boonville High School. Boonville Pirates.
There you go.
Boonville, home of the Pirates. On trying to see if they've got a game from tonight. There is are they playing Marshall?
Might.
I don't know. If they are, then it's not going well. 35-0.
That's not good.
No. They may be having an off season. But it's hard to tell. Let's see. Games September 9th. That's next week. It's an upcoming game. So, no, it's Boonville on top, 35-0 over Marshville. Oh, Marshall. According to this, I don't know if that's tonight or not, but I think it is. So maybe, and that's a halftime score. So yeah, I think it is.
That's
tonight.
good.
So nice to come back.
No kidding.
Isn't it? All right, speaking of coming back, the teams are on the field, and it should be about time to get going for the second half of play. It will be Wildcat football as they unless if they did choose to kick, does that mean we could choose to receive in the second half?
I think so.
So we'll see what happens. 21-0 our score here from Blue Springs. Titans on top of the Wildcats. Back with the second half after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Well, it looks like what we were speculating at the beginning of the game was actually true, that the Wildcats won the toss and chose to kick, which means that here in the second half, with the option, the Titans have chosen to receive. The Wildcats out there ready to kick off at the 40-yard line. Welcome back to Blue Springs. Joel Becker and Coach Royce Boehm here on Lee Summit West Titan Football with the Titans on top 21-0. That's a little unusual, isn't it?
Very unusual.
2 kickoffs in the same game for the same team to start a half. I guess this is not something that the Wildcats were expecting, an offense from the Titans that would move the football and score points.
That's crazy.
It's the only thing you could figure.
Yeah, their philosophy was wrong on that one.
Ball teed up at the 40-yard line, just inside the left hash mark. So the second half is underway. A pooch kick, and it'll come down, and it's still loose. Going toward the sideline, goes out of bounds. Titans catch a bit of a break. Nobody ever ended up with possession of the ball. Somebody did out of bounds.
Right.
I think it was Sims, but it'll be, they're discussing it, but they already indicated it's Titan football. Not great field position down about the 22, but at least they get the football.
Yeah, at least it's not going the other way.
Well, I mean, that was one of those things you had to figure. Down 21-0. You would have kicked it at an up back.
There you go. Kick it right at him.
How many times was that actually successful in the first few years?
I can't even count them. It was unreal. But again, though, we had some exceptional kickers.
Yeah. And a heck of a special teams coach to start things off.
Jeremy Hubbard.
So Titans first and 10 from their own 22. Sims on the toss. Will try and get around the edge. Does. Gets up the far sideline across the 25. Steps out at the 27. Tavion Sims with another pretty good run. Gesundheit.
Excuse me.
It'll be second down, about 5 from there. Let's call it 6. Thank you much.
Yes, sir.
Nice and cool.
It is.
So, Titans on the opening possession of the second half, trying to duplicate what they did in the first half. From the shotgun, give up the middle, Mayo, and he's got a pretty big hole. Falls forward across the 30, short of the first down to the 31. It'll be a third and about a yard from there. And, you know, the Titans just really doing everything they want to do on offense tonight, pretty much the whole game.
And again, like what we talked about at halftime, the focus on that offensive line, you know, that really is paying off right now with Coach Barrows coaching those kids.
So third down and short, give Mayo left side first down. As three guys trying to get him down, finally does across the 35 up to about the 38. He needed a yard, got about 7, maybe 6.
And again, what Coach Horn said, he goes, we didn't run enough behind Cam Carswell last week, and we're gonna make sure that happens tonight.
Which side is that?
The left side, Joel.
First and 10, Titans from their own 38. Double H-back. Man in motion, and it is Torrey. Quincy gets the call, breaks the tackle up the middle. Best run of the night for Quincy, I would say. They haven't called his number too many times, about 2 or 3. But a pickup of 9 on first down. That'll be second and short. Just underway second half. Titans on top, 21-0. Trying to march down the field to start off the second half after catching a bit of a break on the kickoff. Pooch kick. Free ball.
And guess what? I bet they practiced that this week too.
I think so. They're back to throw. Wolverton throws it to Mayo. He makes the catch, runs over a linebacker, and gets inside Wildcat territory near the Blue Springs 40. First and 10 Titans. And I tell you what, that was a well-designed play. Wolverton, moved everybody one way, came back the other direction.
Beautiful.
And made a nice throw and a good catch for Mayo, who obviously can catch out of the backfield.
And guess what? The clock is still ticking.
10 minutes left to go in the third quarter as we've played 2 minutes of the second half. First and 10, Titans in Wildcat territory. From the shotgun, it's Mayo on the call up the middle. Again, they open up a big hole and they push him forward all the way up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5. They give him about halfway between the 36 and 35, so it'll be second and a long 5 from there. You know, the way they've come out this game with those 2 wingbacks is almost a little reminiscent of Ray-Pack.
Yes, it is.
And Mayo with a big hole off left tackle, breaks a tackle, gets inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. David Mayo, steady dose of number 8 on this drive, and he's been making them pay. And this is what Mark was talking about last week when he kept saying that Mayo gets stronger as the game goes on. It's a combination of David getting stronger and the other team, not liking.
Well, and if you think about it, that defense has been out there for a long time. Almost 16 minutes the first half.
So, Wolverton the give. This is Torrey, I believe, Quincy Torrey. Did get inside the 20, but not much more. It'll be maybe a gain of a yard.
Got a fight on the sideline.
Oh, wow. Well, at least Summit West and Blue Springs, it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully nobody will end up getting disqualified.
There's no flags.
The play went out into the Wildcat bench area. So they just break everything up.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad nobody came off that bench over there.
Yeah. So it'll be second and 10, no gain on the play. Wolverton from the shotgun, Mayo to his right. 2 H-backs, man in motion. And it's the toss. Quincy Torrey trying to get around the end. Cuts up. He's got a big hole to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown. Touchdown, Titans. Quincy Torrey from 20 yards out. And the Titans blow it open even farther, 27-0 with the extra point to come.
Nicely done.
Great run by Torrey. We got to see a little bit of his breakaway speed that time.
Absolutely.
And but even better, the job from the blocking up front to just give him. I mean, he was basically untouched. Ran away from anybody who might have been able to touch him, but still. Peacock out for the extra point to make it a 28-0 game. Snap back, ball down, kick up. It is high, long, and it is good. 7:48 to go, third quarter. We have played 4-12 here in the second half, and the Titans lead it 28-0. We'll take a break, come back for the kickoff after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com. Welcome back out to Blue Springs High School, Blue Springs, Missouri. Joel Becker and Coach Royce Boehm. I vaguely seem to remember there was one other game that we played Blue Springs and really took it to them. I was trying to remember if we ever had a running clock on them.
I don't think we
I
ever
don't
had.
think so.
No.
28-0. 7:48 to go. The kick, line drive, and it will go into the end zone for a touchback. So pretty good leg that time for Will Peacock.
Yeah, starting to get a little chippy out there.
Yeah. Well, 28-0. That's bound to happen. We're going to get the water break timeout now with 7:48 left to go. So this is the first offensive possession for the Wildcats in the second half. It's just like in the first half, the Titans eat up in this case nearly 5 minutes off the clock. In the last case, it was actually over 5 minutes on the clock. And, even before they touched the football, Blue Springs finding themselves in the first half 7 down, and now in the second half 7 more down to 28-0. That's the way you like to play a half.
It is, and this is a totally different Titan football team.
So, you have to understand a couple of things that, Liberty is a good team. If Liberty came in here to play the Wildcats, they might be winning 28-0.
Right.
And so, part of the thing last week was their opposition, not just.
And then you go and you think about how good Staley, because now they're getting beat by Lee Summit.
Mm-hmm. And Lee Summit got beat last week
By Blue Springs South.
Yeah,
Bad.
so
52 to
so you'd think
24
that the Titans would be relatively confident going in. We get whistles before the snap. I'm imagining it's
what?
It's going to be offsides.
They called it on the Titans.
Yeah, offsides apparently must have moved a helmet across the line or something like that.
Yeah, but the running back jumped.
Well, again, depends on who did it first.
Yeah.
He may have jumped because he saw a Titan player move across the line. I don't know.
Well, it's kind of hard to see through these bars.
Yes, it is. So 1st and 5 after the penalty. And it is a keeper. For the first time in the game, we get to see Caldarella run a little bit. And Sal gets a first down as he gets across the 30 to about the 31. One thing you don't want to see for the Titans is any kind of a letdown here.
No.
Pour it on, get the clock running.
Exactly.
Go home. Be a nice bus ride home.
It would.
Windows down, this nice little cool breeze. $9 at night. Second down, and it's the zone read, and Colorado keeps it, and he gets hit as he gets near the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard or two. That'll be 2nd down and 8, up just shy of the 35. They'll put it down around the 34 or so. Clock running under 7 minutes to go, third quarter. Titans leading 28-0 after being shut out last week. It's a mirror image this
yes,
week.
it is.
Maybe that's the thing. We stepped over through the looking glass into another universe.
I think so.
And here we are. 2nd and 8. Caldarella from the shotgun. Gives it, no, in fact, fakes to George, throwing near side, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Fiala, and I'm not sure if he caught it out of bounds or he just didn't quite catch it.
Yeah.
But either way, it's incomplete pass. That was why I hesitated, because we just couldn't see it really over there in the crowd. We were a little higher than we were on a flatbed pickup truck.
That's
but,
true. Back in Fort Osage.
Yep, but we still couldn't really see through the players.
No.
From here. So it does stop the clock. 6:26 left to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. Still on their own side of the 50-yard line. Ball is on the 34. Caldarella from the shotgun back to throw. He's getting a rush. Rolls out to the right side. He's going to run it up the near sideline. Makes a move. Gets up near midfield. And into Titan territory. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats on about a 17, 18-yard run from Caldarella. Might have been helped by a little bit of a hold, but no flags. So
I know. The white hat was pointing right at it, too.
yeah, well, he was basically saying, I saw it, but I'm not calling it. And it was borderline. I wouldn't say it was like a real obvious thing. Warner would have been upset, but he wouldn't have actually blown a blood vessel or anything.
No.
Pistol formation, 1st and 10, Titan territory. And it again will be Caldarella, and he stops and starts, and he's hit and tackled as he gets maybe a couple. It's interesting, after almost no carries the entire first half, they're just number 3 after one after another play here. 2nd down and 8. I don't know if they were just trying to protect him, as looks like he, you know, in that first half, or
I'm not for sure.
Or they were just trying to make adjustments, you know, that the Titans had done so well.
No confusion.
Yeah, they're going to reset the play clock. I don't know why, but they did. Although the Titans are okay with that.
No doubt.
Run another 40 seconds off the clock, knock yourself out.
No kidding.
5 minutes left to go, third quarter. 2nd down and 8 from the Titan 47. Caldarella in the pistol formation, one wing back out on the right side. Single outs on either side. This time they do hand it off to George, and he spins his way up. There's a flag as he gets to the 45 of the Titans, maybe the 44, but I think this is coming back. Holding call against the Wildcats. Boy, that's a drive killer if there ever was one. From the spot of the foul, which is way back at the original line of scrimmage, is going to set up a 2nd down and 20.
Offensive holding call against Blue Spring.
And push them back to their own 41. Stops the clock with 4:46 left to go to assess the penalty. Is that what happened to all that hair?
Yes.
So it'll be 2nd and 20.
2nd and 20 from the Wildcats at 41 yards.
Wildcats still in the huddle. They come to the line. Same formation, pistol. Now they move everybody over to the left side. Titans step up. It'll be a handoff, and trying to hurdle over the play that time was Hunt, but he didn't get over.
No, not at all. That's another great thing about this defense. Man, they swarm to the football.
Yeah. Well, and again, like I was talking about before, the difference between last week and this week is last week they would swarm to the football and the guy would break through it anyway. And at the minimum still at least get, say, 3-4 yards.
Right.
This week, that's not happening. They're taking them down. Whatever it takes. So 3rd down and 20 after no gain on that play. Caldarella has twins on either side this time. We'll see if the Titans come after him. One man in the backfield. They do send a blitz up. He'll roll out to the right side, looking to throw a near side. It is incomplete, almost intercepted. Probably should have been right in the hands of Wyatt Fredrickson, but it bounced off the hands, and that's why he's a defensive player and not a receiver. So it'll be 4th down and 20 punting situation for the Wildcats. Titans should get decent field position, hopefully, especially if they get any kind of a return. Huffman goes back deep, standing at about his own 25. See if they come after the punter.
Yeah, let's see if we get some pressure on him here.
I don't know, 28-0.
Oh.
They're going for coverage. Line drive kick, and it goes to Huffman at about the 23.
There he goes.
Up to the 30, 35, 40.
Flag.
Down the far sideline. As you said, a flag. He's hit and tackled up to the 45.
A little holding on the Titans.
Well, and a second flag comes out as well.
Ooh.
In the way back at the 43 and 40, 38. We'll check the penalties. So it most likely will send the Titan defense or offense back a bit to start things off, but they haven't had trouble with that today anyway.
Are you going to be offsetting? Oh, no. Both.
No, it's both against the Titans. And it's, I think, a hold and an illegal block.
Okay.
So, like a crackback block, perhaps. I think it might be a crackback block, which is a 15-yard penalty instead of a 10, but it also, it's from the spot of the foul, and I'm pretty sure the crackback block was the one up at the 43. So I think either way.
Oh, crackback.
Yeah. So we'll see where they put the ball down. Boy, they're marching it back from the 32. 15 yards. So that was not where the flag was, not anywhere near.
No.
So talk about changing the field position. They would have had the ball in Wildcat territory at about the 45 of Blue Springs, and instead they're back inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. But like I said, they've been able to move the ball anyway. If they can here, that will really put the Wildcats back against it. Wolverton from the shotgun, man in motion, and it's a give to Mayo up the middle. He actually ran into his own blocker, came off of it, but was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and 10.
David Mayo on the carry, number 1, John Matthews.
Clock is
once again, it looked like the offensive line were downfield and leaving men unblocked back on the line of scrimmage.
Well, something else they can work on in practice. You know, when you're an offensive line and your job is blocking, you should find somebody to block. Under 3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Wolverton rolls right side. He's being chased. Not sure if he knows, throws, and it's incomplete. Quincy Torrey is intended receiver, but it was a little bit underthrown and kind of trapped. Never really came up with it up near the 30-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd down. 3rd and 10 from their own 18. The Titans in danger of their first 3 and out of the game if they can't convert here. Not a bad play.
No.
And Wolverton
should have been caught.
Maybe. I mean, it was a little short. Man in motion, and Wolverton fakes and rolls to the right with time, throws. He's got a wide open man, incomplete. And Jackson Torrey literally had that hit him in the wrist. It almost looked like he wasn't expecting it.
I know it.
It would have been a 1st down, and he was wide open. I don't know if it was just that his number wasn't called, so he wasn't expecting to get a ball, or what. But like I said, the first time in the game, they have punted before, but this is the first time in the game that they've got a 3 and out. So Mayo standing inside his 5-yard line. And I believe he's kicking into the wind here too. Good snap, steps into it.
Ooh.
High but very short. Like I said, the wind is holding this up.
Ooh,
and it takes a Wildcat bounce, and they down it at the 21-yard line. that actually is going to end up being negative yards when all was said and done.
Yes.
Well, no, it's positive. It's a 3-yard punt when all was said and done.
That kind of hurt your average at times.
It does a little bit. And it wasn't even blocked.
No.
Saw that in a soccer game. Goaltender, had a goal kick, and he went to kick it, put it up in the air, big wind, blows it, and actually went over his head and into his own goal. It was a goal kick into his own net.
Man.
Lucky it didn't start a riot. It's a give to George, trying to get around the edge on the left side. He's hit and tackled. Good pursuit. And Jackson Torrey over there playing both ways. And made up a little bit for the incomplete catch.
He did.
Because that was a good tackle in the open field. So, Titans, this is, I believe, the deepest penetration for the Wildcats in the game.
I think you're right.
Inside the red zone for the first time on the 19-yard line. 2nd down and 8 from there. Caldarella from the shotgun. George in the backfield, rolls to the right side, being chased. And he throws, and it's incomplete. Threw it away. I think we may get a roughing the passer call at the end of the play. But there may have been a flag earlier.
Yeah, I think they might have had an illegal man downfield.
So they may end up offsetting. We'll see what we get the call here. Clock stopped with 1:39 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Titans on top 28-0. They're looking toward the Wildcat sideline, which would normally not be something they would need to do on offsetting penalties unless they're just telling them. But the way they're behaving, I don't think so. It could be that both penalties are on the Titans and they're just giving him the option of which one he wants to take. I don't know. So, no, it's holding against the Wildcats, and I believe that personal foul against the Titans, so they should offset. Or actually in high school, they may actually mark them both off. I think they do. They mark the 10 yards off and then 15 yards back. And that's what they're doing. So they're going 10 yards back from the, 20 or so, the spot of the foul, back to the 30, actually the 31. And now they're going to mark 15 yards forward, which should put the ball on about 15, 16 yard line. I think it's a 16. Yeah, 15 is where they're putting it. And it'll remain 2nd down, so it'll be 2nd and 4 from there. So it's one of those idiosyncrasies of high school football rules compared to like NFL rules or college rules. So 2nd down, pistol formation. And it is a throw to the near side, caught but hit immediately. Again, Jackson Torrey over there on the hit. Fiala was the receiver after a fake to George, and Caldarella, who's made good use of that play action, but in that case really ended up losing a yard when all was said and done. So it'll be 3rd down and 5. Obviously they're in 4-down territory. Clock is running with 1:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Trips on the left side. George moves to the right from the shotgun. Caldarella, they send the blitz coming up the middle. He's hit and he's sacked. Fredrickson ended up being untouched on the blitz from the linebacker position, back to the 21-yard line, and it'll set up a 4th down and 10. So if you were, I'm just curious about this because this came up last week. 28-0, you're down. If you had the leg here, would it ever occur to you to just break the shutout?
I'd give it a shot. I mean, if you had a half-decent kicker.
Yeah. I mean, 4th and 10, I might go for it on 4th and 10. If it was like 4th and 18 or something, I might try and kick the field goal. 4th and 10, they come back. They send after Caldarella. He steps up, throws in the end zone, incomplete. A great play to break that play up at the last second from the defensive back position. I'm trying to catch to see who it was, and I haven't been able to see the number because he hasn't turned around. That was Huffman, I think. I am nearly certain that's who that was. It was a great play because he was beat, but he got back, got that gap closure, and was able to get a hand on it and break it up. So 8 seconds left to go in the quarter. Turnover on downs, and the Titans take over at their own 21.
Very nice. Very impressive.
The good news
And
is,
I tell you what, he was wide open too.
the good news is in 8 seconds they won't have the wind in their face anymore. So if they do have to kick it, we hopefully won't have the same thing happen. On 1st and 10. Quincy Torrey in motion. They give it to Mayo. And he's got some running room off of right tackle. He'll get up to the 25, and that's the way the third quarter will end. It'll be 2nd down and 6 when we come back. Titans add a touchdown in the third quarter. They lead it 28-0. 12 minutes of football left to go. And we'll see if they can't march down the field once again when we come back. 28-0, Titans on top. This is Titan Football, a presentation of Ackport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts for more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Blue Springs, Missouri. Joel Becker and Royce Bame here on Lee Summit West Titans football. Titans on top of the Wildcats, 28-0. As we move to the fourth quarter of play, it'll be 2nd and 6 for Lee Summit West from their own 25-yard line, 26 or so. And they have been a different team this week. Wolverton out in the shotgun, has Sims in motion, gives it to Mayo. And again, off that left tackle play, moving the pile forward. And he'll get it across the 30 near a first down, probably about a yard shy. It'll set up a 3rd and 1. And, you know, the last couple of plays, not as much that one, but the last play of the quarter, we see that H-back moving over to the direction in which the running back's going to go and really helping to get that blocking scheme in and open up those holes for David Mayo.
And again, after last week, they got in there watching film and picked up some things that they needed to work on, and you can tell they've worked on it.
Well, and it's good to see that you know, Coach Horn is adaptable. They're actually going to measure this for a first down. You ever in this situation like this as a coach and said we'd like to decline the measurement? We'll just take the 3rd down.
No kidding.
Let's get us out of here.
Let's go.
Although, you know, yesterday, as I said, it was after 10 o'clock before I finished the Lawrence Olathe South game. It's not even quite 9.
And Lawrence's new head coach is the former D coordinator, right?
For
the KU?
Yes. Give and bouncing around and spinning is Mayo. He did get that first down. Only needed a half a yard. Pile of players over there trying to untangle. It'll be 1st and 10 Titans from up at the 37 or so. They haven't moved the sticks yet. Now they do. Took them a while. I guess they learned their lesson.
They did learn their lesson.
So 1st and 10 Titans. Ball on their own 32. Again from the shotgun, man in motion, and it is a toss sweep in Quincy Torrey, and he's hit as he gets near the 35. Should be a pickup of 3.
Quincy Torrey with the carry.
2nd down, about 7 from there. It is a tough thing for, you know, a school like Blue Springs when you know, when you're used to having such a powerful football, you know, program with the kids when they're, you know, being, you know, this is their home opener.
Home opener, but also their second head football coach since Kelly Donahoe's left.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's understandable that these kids have, you know, some pride to look at. Mayo trying to bounce it to the outside. And he's hit and tackled as he gets up near the 40-yard line. It might be a hair shy, so they'll put it down at the 38. And it'll set up a third down from there. Third, and let's call it 5 from there. Long 5, short 6. Clock is running with under 10 minutes left to go in regulation time. Titans on top, 28-0. They can get a touchdown and an extra point.
I know. Get that.
9:30 would be an
buses
achievable
started.
goal. Man in motion. They toss it, and Torrey trying to reverse direction, gets
He's
around
got
a
it.
man. He's got some running room. He'll get the first down up near midfield, stops and starts, and he is dragged out of bounds as he gets across the 40. There is a flag, possibly a late hit. Down to about the 38-yard line, 37-yard line was where he was marked out of bounds. But then he was pulled down after he went out of bounds, and it is going to be a personal foul. And I think that was a horse collar tackle as opposed to a late hit that they were calling on it.
That's what he indicated.
But either way, it'll tack another 15 yards on. And the Titans with a big run. You know, that was one of those things where as a coach, you're not so happy when you first see it until you see things develop. And
exactly
it worked
right.
out. It's not exactly the way you coach him.
No,
but sometimes
but you got players that make plays.
And that one he definitely did. Clearly the best run of the game for Quincy Torrey, and I really think for anybody.
And you know what? He showed a little speed there.
Yeah. Well, had a touchdown earlier where we talked about him turning the Jets on a bit. After the penalty, the ball up at the 22-yard line of the Wildcats. 1st and 10 for the Titans. Man in motion is the handoff to Mayo up the middle. Made his own hole to get it up to the 20. Pickup of 2. Trying to use Jackson Torrey as a decoy on that play. Maybe a yard. 2nd down and 9. Clock running, coming up on 9 minutes left to go.
And again, they're taking their time.
Why wouldn't
It's
they?
just like 35. Huh?
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock.
As long as you don't run out of bounds or anything.
Right. Or not snap the ball.
2nd and 9. And this time they hand it off to Jackson Torrey. Finds a hole up the middle. Gets near the 15 before he is taken down. A pickup of 6. And it'll set up a 3rd down and about 3 from there. Not a very generous spot as they put it down on the 16. He sure looked like that's the 2nd straight time they kind of took a yard away.
Yeah, it looked like he crossed the line.
So closer to 3rd down and 4 from where they put the ball. Down to 8:20 left to go. Play clock's at 15. As the Titans get set. Shotgun formation, man in motion. That was Quincy Torrey. They throw over the middle, incomplete Sims. He was open.
He was.
And Wolverton trying to throw a bullet there and just put it a little too high. That was too much Patrick Mahomes on that throw.
Was. All right, looks like the offense is staying on the field.
Well, what's the point of kicking a field goal here?
Oh, why not?
I mean, 35, you get the clock running, that's something. But if you kick a field goal, all you're doing is rubbing it in. You know?
God, Joel, you tell the truth.
Although, it would be, since we did have a blocked field goal earlier, it'd be nice to get him a little confidence, but still. 4th down and 4. Quincy Torrey in motion, back to throws, and it is tipped and incomplete. Intended on the far side, and pretty good defense over there to just reach over.
Yeah.
And so the Wildcats will take over on downs. Does stop the clock with 8:03 left to go in regulation time. They'll get it on their own 16, though.
Joel, have you ever been in prison?
Turkish one?
I don't know. Any prison.
That's an airplane line. Joey, you ever been to a Turkish prison? Do you like gladiator movies?
Look at these dadgum bars.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I've never been.
No, me neither.
Knock on whatever this is. Plastic. And it's going to be
nice.
play Jackson Torrey, but he let him go. as a run on the left side for Hunt. Didn't get much on the play, but could have been worse. He'll lose a yard, first or second and 11. But Jackson Torrey really, talk about showing some speed. Closing speed came in. I mean, that's a running back, and he just blew right up to him. Unfortunately, let him go. Had him wrapped up. He thought he had him down.
He thought he spun him down.
And he was, I guess, surprised at Hunt's good balance when all was said and done.
Well, let's guess. Coach Carswell's going to be working on tackling next week.
Pistol formation. And it is a handoff up the middle. And again, Hunt. And there's a flag down.
Probably a face mask?
I don't think so. Or at least not on the ball carrier. Titan player lost a shoe. We'll see what we see on the call. It's a hold against the Wildcats.
Flag on the play.
I don't know. Do you send them back to half the distance to the goal and keep it second down, or do you make it a third down play in 3rd and 11?
Well, looks like they've already made their decision.
Yeah. So they take the penalty, push them back to their own 7. It'll set up a second down.
I'll tell you what, the way the defense has been playing too.
Yeah.
Get yourself some good field position here.
Sure. And they're kicking into the wind, as we talked about before. Although, at this point, I don't know why you'd even go, kick it. You just go for it, even if it was 4th down. Although maybe not if it's 4th and 18. It's second down now. And Calderella throws it on the far side. Caught but hit and tackled immediately over there on the play is Fiala. Once again, Jackson Torrey's been busy in the second half on defense, especially in this drive.
Yes.
And makes a good tackle. It's a gain of about 5 or so, but it still sets up a 3rd down and let's say 14. Clock is running under 6.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Parks last week, and he said that he thinks they've got 3 guys going both ways.
Yeah.
It's good to see old Coach Parks back up in the box.
Yeah, it really is. Back to throw Calderella, and he'll step up. Being chased, hit from behind, and sacked. Actually, I think technically it'll actually go down as a gain. So not really a sack, a run for about a yard or 2, but it'll set up a 4th down. And they are going to send the punting unit in.
That's good.
4th down and 13 or so.
Shout out to Limbo's brother Willie. He's been battling with some injuries himself, and get better soon.
So I think they may be short a player, or the Wildcats, that somebody running on the field now. Punter is standing back at his own 2-yard line. It's a good snap, and he steps into it. Decent kick.
Yeah.
Fielded on the bounce. Huffman down the far sideline, and he is inside the 30-25, being chased, hit, and tackled as he got inside the 10 and down to the 4-yard line. And the Titans showing some good returns in this game, as once again Huffman.
Well, I tell you, they had that wall set up.
Yep, and Ethan just followed it right down the far sideline. 5:05 left to go, regulation time, 1st and goal for the Titans. So 1st and 10. Titans from the shotgun, and it's a direct snap to Mayo as they go Wildcat on this play, and he'll go up off left tackle for a couple to the 2, 2nd and goal from there. Clock is running, 4:40 left to go.
2nd goal.
There you go, Wildcat again. Mayo, man in motion, takes the snap, trying to go left side. They unfortunately left somebody unblocked, and he made a good play to jump into the backfield. That was number 13, Max Toya, who stepped up and really made a good open field tackle on Mayo. Nowhere for him to go, really.
No.
And it'll set up a 3rd down and goal. Clock still running, though, under 4 minutes left to go. So, yeah, we're at Staley next week. Or, no, I'm sorry, we're Park Hill South next week. Staley is the 16th.
Touchdown. Oh, he dropped it.
Could have been, but as you say, incomplete. As they were looking for a wiggle again, and he couldn't come up with it. So, Will Peacock will have an opportunity to kick a field goal.
Will Peacock in for the
Which, like I said, I think if nothing else is good for his confidence. It doesn't really do much in the game. But it'll be a 23-yard field goal from the left hash mark. He had one blocked earlier. Snap back, ball down, kick up, high, long, and it is no good. Off wide to the left, I believe. So with 3:37 left to go in regulation time, the score remains 28-0 for the Titans. So maybe it's not so good for his confidence.
Maybe not.
Hoping it would be. But it's still a good learning experience.
Oh, it is.
So, yeah, Park Hill South. They'll let us in there, right, Mark? They'll let us in at Park Hill South, right? Yeah, we'll be fine. So that's next week, Park Hill South. Yeah. So, okay. Staley's the week after. It's a long road trip. I mean, we start with the one home game, and we don't go back till the 23rd, from August to September. I thought you had the American Royal down there or something. Do they still do that?
I don't know.
When I first moved here in the early 90s, I was, calling soccer at Kemper Arena, and we had to spend the first month of the season on the road because the American Royal was down there,
okay.
and Kemper was full of dirt. Couldn't really play soccer that easily. So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Wildcats. They go with a big jumbo formation on the pistol, the handoff to George, and he gets up to the line of scrimmage ahead to the maybe 22. It'll be 2nd down from there as the Wildcats. The good news is not really making much difference whether you have a running clock or not. They're just running it out.
Exactly.
At this point, both teams are. You would have been having a fun night tonight after coaching this game if you were.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
2nd down and 8. Again from the pistol. This time they put a couple of wideouts. And they give it. Trying the right side this time. I'm not sure if that's Hunt or George. It's George. And he gets up to the 25. And so it'll set up a 3rd down. Let's call it 3rd and 6 from the 24. Clock running down to 2:35 left to go. Start thinking about a player of the game. You got a couple of minutes. You don't have to tell us yet.
It's pretty easy.
I don't know. There's like 200 players out there. So it'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 6. Pistol formation, Twins on the left this time. And it's a handoff, a fake, play action fake, throwing near side, and it is caught, hit and tackled as Stevenson makes his first catch. Should be good for a 1st down.
Looks like it.
Out to the 31, 32-yard line. Needed the 30 on the touchback after the missed field goal. So stops the clock with 1:59 left to go. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. They come out with twins on the right this time. H-back on the right, and on the read option, back to throw, throwing near side, caught, but hit behind the line of scrimmage, Fiala, as the Titans defense doing a good job of just sort of hanging out and waiting to see where the play goes and swarming to it.
Swarming. Coach Carswell's big on that. Swarming to the football.
It is Monarch season, you know.
Yeah. You know what, looking over there in the press box, Coach Carswell looks more relaxed, calmed down.
You mean than when he was head coach?
Uh-huh.
Imagine that. So do you. Pistol formation, 2nd down, let's call it 13. This time they do give it up the middle, George. He's spun down as he gets near the original line of scrimmage, up to the 31. Still about a yard shy, so 3rd and 11. Clock is running down to 1:05 left to go. So the game's going to be over probably before 9:20. That's not bad.
No, it's not.
For a 7 o'clock game.
No, it's not.
With 28 points scored. We'll see if the Titans can stop them here on 3rd and 11. As they come out in the pistol with twins on the left. On the right, wingbacks on the left. Ooh. Play action rolling to the right side. Caldarella throws down the sideline, and it is incomplete.
Well, looks like it could be roughing the passer.
There is a flag, as you mentioned. There's also a couple of players slow in getting up on the far sideline. Looks like, definitely an injury. That was Huffman, and that would be a big loss for the Titans if he hurt himself. Hopefully it's just a cramp or something. But they help him off. The penalty is roughing the passer, and it will give a 1st down to the Wildcats. Stops the clock with 26 seconds left to go. I'm not exactly sure who the intended receiver there on that play was.
I don't know.
Well, it's only because there was a shorter one and a further one, and he was kind of in between the two on the throw.
He was.
So it was hard to tell who he was trying to get to. The shorter receiver made a valiant leap for it, but it was over his head, but short of the other one. So after the penalty, 1st down from the 45 of the Wildcats. 1st and 10, pistol formation. Caldarella, play action, rolls to the left side. He's going to pull it up, throws downfield. It's incomplete. They are going to call interference, it looks like, as they got tied up downfield. And the intended receiver was Caden Luge. Not sure how you pronounce his name. Lutjen Williams, L-U-T-J-E-N, Lutjen Williams. Down to 19 seconds left to go. 15 yards on the penalty. Well, if nothing else, the Titans are racking up the penalty yards here in the last drive of the game. They've just added 30 yards in penalty yards.
I'm going to take a shot at that. Lusion?
It could be. It's L-U-T-J-E-N.
Right. And does that J make the T silent?
Or is it Lutjen?
Yeah.
Even. I don't know. 1st and 10 from the Titan 40. Could be the last play of the game. And on play action, Caldarella sets up, throws, and it's incomplete. Down to 13 seconds left to go. Now, of course, if we were Staley, we'd have time for 12 plays.
12 plays in 3 seconds.
We're going to let that go, are we?
No. And you know what, Mark? I never got any popcorn tonight.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Son of a gun. Huh? I don't think they were selling it. We walked by, we were looking.
They got it at Park Hill South?
They better.
We may bring our own. Who was it that did the kettle stuff? Was that Giha?
Ooh.
Back to throw. Caldarella. He's being chased, hit, and sacked. And a nice step up on that play. Put a little exclamation point on the game. for Ryan Haynes, and that will do it. The Lee Summit West Titans get their first win of the 2022 campaign in convincing fashion after being shut out last week. They shut out the Wildcats this week from Blue Springs, 28-0 the final score.
Very good. Good win for Coach Horn and his staff.
And the players.
And the players.
They, it seemed like they needed a game to kind of figure out what playing football is all about when you're not playing against your teammates.
Right.
And really turned it around this week. Again, like we said, kind of a mirror image of what we had the week before against Liberty. We'll take a quick break and wrap things up. Post-game show coming up around the corner. This is Titan Football, a presentation of Back Porch Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts for more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Blue Springs, Missouri. PV Field here at Blue Springs High School. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Bame. Lee Summit West with the 28-0 victory over the Blue Springs Wildcats tonight. Coach has some post-game numbers for you.
Yeah, I tell you what a difference a week makes. Incredible coaching, coaching on their mistakes. And, again, congratulations to Coach Horn and his staff for their first win of the 2022-23 season. A totally different night tonight for the Lee Summit West Titans. 310 yards total offense. Blue Springs only 92. And that's a shocker when it comes to these two. Rushing, I think we had 46 yards rushing last week, and this week we had 193 yards rushing. Oof. Incredible. Blue Springs only had 74. Receiving yards, we had 117. Blue Springs had 18. Here's an area that we can get a little better on. Penalties, we had 12 penalties for 100 yards.
Yeah, although like I said, some of that, 60 yards was in the last drive there on the last couple plays.
Yeah, very true.
That's half your penalty yardage. That's quarter of your penalty yardage right there.
Yeah. Time of possession for the Titans, it was 26 minutes, and for the Wildcats, 21. So Wildcats had their hand on the ball a little bit more the second half. First downs, 19 for Lee Summit West, 8 for Blue Springs Wildcats. Drew went 10 for 19 for 117 yards, 2 TDs.
No picks.
No picks. David Mayo, 27 attempts at 101 yards rushing. Not too shabby.
Not at all.
Quincy Torrey, 7 attempts for 55 yards, 1 touchdown. Tavon Sims.
Tavion.
Dadgum you, Joel. Correct me, son of a. 5 attempts for 10 yards and a touchdown.
As long as you don't tell me to get the monkey off your back.
Yeah, brother.
So got some scores. We finished early, so we don't have as many finals as we might otherwise. But I can tell you, Rockhurst is really taking it to Blue Springs South, 48-7 in the fourth quarter. In that game, these are just some scores of interest. I'm not giving you all of them because a lot of them are still going on. Raytown does beat Excelsior Springs 42-21. Let's see. We talked about the fact Kearney 36-13 over Fort Osage. I was looking for the, by the way, the Liberty North. Liberty is now 41-7 Liberty North with about 2 minutes left to go in that one. I was looking for the Park Hill South score. Eventually I'll find it, and also the Staley score. Let's see, Olathe West all over Free State, by the way, 33-6. Glad I don't have to go into work tomorrow.
No kidding.
So let's see, Park Hill South gets beat by Lee Summit North, 24-7 the score. There's still 5.5 minutes left to go. That unfortunately doesn't tell us much because the Broncos are so good.
Yeah.
That the fact that they're able to beat South does not necessarily mean that it's going to be a walk in the park for us. But we'll see how it goes. Ray-Pec 42-21 over Park Hill. That's a third quarter score.
Ray-Pec is on again, aren't they?
Yeah. Still looking for that Staley score for 2 weeks ahead. Here it is. Lee Summit 28-21 over Staley in the third quarter.
Third quarter.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing that I, of course, had to look up was an update out of Boonville. And Marshall has come back. No, I'm just kidding. It's 42-6. Pirates over the Owls, at least the latest that I got off of Score Stream. So, all right, so player of the game. Now, I know the, there's going to be a temptation to, the running game of the Titans was so good today that there's a temptation to go that direction, either to one of the backs or also to potentially a lineman. But also, you probably want to consider the idea that this is a team that gave up 30 points last week and they shut out the Wildcats. So maybe a defensive player
could be
might
a defense, or could be just the defense.
So, what do you think?
Well,
if I wouldn't probably do the whole defense. If I were going to do it that way, at the most, I might do that box, the 7 in the box, because they really did hold them back as far as running game is concerned most of the game.
Yeah.
And that was a combination of the line and the linebackers more than anything. Jackson Torrey played a good game on defense too.
Jackson Torrey did. Yeah, he did.
And contributed on offense as well, for that matter.
Well, you know what? I'd say Jackson Torrey on defense. And
David Mayo on offense.
David Mayo on
100-yard game.
Yeah.
27 carries. How about that?
Carrying the rock.
Talking about getting stronger as the game goes on. So good job all the way around. Next week we are at Park Hill South. And so we hope you'll join us for that on Friday night. If you can't make the game yourself, always love when you can travel out and support the team in person. Of course, if you do that, you can always whip out your phone and watch it on 810varsity.com or lswradio.com as well. Great to have you back, Coach.
Well, it's good to be back, Joel, Mark. Missed you guys. Taking a year like that was well worth it. I needed a little break, but
That had been going on for like 17 years at that point for you.
That's true. That's very true.
Yep. All right, final score tonight. It was 28-0. Titans over the Wildcats, a convincing victory to get themselves in the win column for the season. They moved to 1-1 and off on this 3-game road trip, the middle game at Park Hill South next week. Thanks for joining us here on Titan Football.